My dear child, put down your burden. Yes, that one. The one you carry in the bend of your back and the crook of your soul. The one that creaks every time you smile and sighs every time you breathe. Set it down. You were never meant to carry the weight of the world when the world itself was made by hands mightier than yours. There is a power far greater than your worry, far wiser than your doubt, and far more patient than your fear. It is the hand of God, steady, sovereign, and sure. You have twisted yourself into knots trying to control what was never yours to command. You've marched through storms with trembling knees, whispering prayers with clenched teeth, as if God couldn't hear you unless you screamed. Yes, child, I see the way your shoulders slump under the weight. I see the weariness dancing in your eyes, masked by polite smiles and half-hearted laughter. I see how you try to hold it all together, every thread of life clenched tight in your trembling hands. But let me tell you something, and listen well, worry is a thief. It is a silent pickpocket in the night that robs you of your joy, your peace, your now. Worry is not a badge of love, nor is it a sign of wisdom. It is a burden you were never meant to carry. You were not created to be a beast of burden. You were not shaped by the divine hand to haul the weight of tomorrow on the back of today. And yet, here you are, hunched and hurting, anxious over things that have not come and may never be. Your worry is like a rocking chair always moving but going nowhere. It gives you something to do, but child, it robs you of life while pretending to keep you safe. There is a lie that has nestled itself in your spirit, whispering softly, if I worry enough, I'll be ready. If I prepare for the worst, it won't hurt as much. But don't you see, worry does not soften the blow. It only bruises the soul before anything even touches you. It is a rust that eats away at the bright metal of hope, a cloud that hides the sun even when the sky is blue. The world will tell you that being concerned, being on edge, is a sign of responsibility. But I say to you, it is not noble to live in fear of the future. It is not holy to tie your spirit in knots trying to foresee every outcome. That is not God's way. That is not your way. For the same God who gave the birds their wings and taught them to trust the wind, gave you a heart that beats with the rhythm of heaven. And heaven does not worry. You, child of glory, child of promise, were made to rise with the morning and lie down in peace. You were made to laugh with your mouth wide open, unafraid of what tomorrow holds. And yes, the storms may come. They always do. But no storm was ever calmed by the trembling of hands. No flood ever receded because of a furrowed brow. No mountain ever moved because someone sat at its base wringing their hands and biting their nails. Let me tell you what I've learned walking through the shadowed valleys and standing on sunlit hills. When you worry, you insult your own strength and belittle your Creator's plan. Worry says, I don't trust you. It says, I must fix what I didn't create. And darling, you can't fix what is not yours. You can't control winds you didn't stir. You cannot shape the stars into alignment by fretting in your sleep. Set it down. That thing you keep turning over in your mind, turning over like a stone in your palm, turn it over to God. Lay it at His feet. And if your hand reaches for it again, don't you be ashamed. Just lay it down again. And again. And again. There is grace in the letting go. There is power in saying, I can't, but God can. That's not weakness, baby, that's wisdom. You may not know what comes next, but you know who walks with you. You may not see the whole path, but you've got light for the next step. That is enough. Worry tries to trick you into thinking you must have the whole map before you begin, but God only gives you the lamp. The lamp for your feet, not the lighthouse for the sea. I want you to remember something deep in your bones. You are not alone. You never were. Even when your knees hit the floor and your prayers felt like whispers lost in the wind, God heard them. He was there. When the job didn't come, when the healing didn't happen, when the answer was silence, He was still leading, still holding, still loving. So breathe. Just breathe. Deep and sure. Let the worry fall from your shoulders like an old coat you no longer need. Let it slip to the floor and walk away without apology. You don't have to carry it another day. This moment, this breath is your permission to release, to rest, to remember that you were made for more than fear. And if you ever forget, if you ever find your hands full of worry again, come back to this truth: you were never meant to carry what only God can hold. Now go on and walk like the child of light that you are. Oh, my sweet child, trust is a tall tree with roots that run deep into the earth and branches that stretch out toward heaven. And it does not grow in a day. No, trust is carved through seasons, watered by tears, and warmed by the patient sun of divine faith. Trusting God, really trusting Him, means loosening your grip on the clock, stepping away from the door you keep watching, and believing deep in your marrow that His timing is not just different, but better. Now, I know that word wait can burn like fire on the tongue. I know you've been taught to hustle, to move, to force open what is closed. I know the silence of heaven can feel like a weight pressing down on your chest. But let me tell you what I've learned after loving, losing, living, and rising. God is not slow. No, beloved, God is precise. God is deliberate. He is not moved by the ticking of your clock. He is moved by eternity's rhythm, and that rhythm always lands right on time. There are moments when the soul paces back and forth like a lion in a cage, scratching against the bars of not yet. The mind races, the heart worries, the flesh cries out, "Why not now, Lord?" But you see, child, you are not being punished. You are being prepared. You are not being denied. You are being developed. For what good is a blessing you are not ready to carry? What joy is there in reaching a mountaintop if your legs have not been strengthened by the climb? You must understand God is not in the business of temporary fixes. He builds slowly, carefully with the craftsman's touch. He is not moved by your panic. He is anchored in his plan. And while you fidget in frustration, he is arranging something far beyond what you can imagine. You want a door to open. He is building a palace behind that door. We live in a world addicted to instant answers. Tap the screen, get a response, push a button, see a result. But God's ways are not programmed. They are planted. And when you plant a seed, you don't dig it up every morning to see if it's growing. No, you trust the soil. You trust the rain. You trust the light. And you let it become what it was always destined to be. So I say to you, let go of the calendar. Release the deadline you gave God without his consent. Your timeline is too small for a God who holds galaxies in his hands. The delay is not a detour. It is divine. That no you heard may be protecting you from 1,000 unseen disasters. That not now may be the hand of mercy keeping you from blooming before your roots are ready. I've seen people get what they asked for before their spirit was strong enough to hold it and watch it crumble like dry clay in their hands up. So when God holds something back, don't you dare think he's forgotten you. No, baby. He's preserving you. He's positioning you. And when it is your time, nothing can stop it. Not people, not plans, not the enemy himself. Let your trust rise above your worry. Let it sing over your fear. Let it dance through your waiting. Say to yourself every morning, I may not know the way, but I know the one who leads. Say it when your bed feels empty. Say it when your bank account is low. Say it when your phone is silent and your dreams feel far. Say it like a song. Say it like a sword. Say it until your bones believe it. Because, child, the God who carved rivers from rock and raised life from dust is the same God guiding your steps. He sees you. Every tear, every doubt, every whispered prayer in the middle of the night, he hears them. And not one of them goes unanswered, not one. And when the moment does come when what you've prayed for walks through the door, when the breakthrough bursts forth like dawn, oh, how you will know. You will see why it had to take this long. You will feel how much stronger you've become in the waiting. You will lift your hands and say, Lord, you were right all along. And peace will flood your soul like a river finally finding the sea. So be still, my darling. Stand tall in the waiting room of heaven. Do not fidget. Do not pace. Do not let fear make a home in your spirit. Your name is written on God's hand. Your story is being told by the author of time, and he has never been late, not once, not ever. Now rest your heart in this truth. He is not just coming. He is already here. And his timing is always perfect. There is a certain kind of strength, child, that don't come with muscles or metals. It comes in the quiet. It comes in the stillness. It comes in the sacred, trembling act of saying, I surrender. Not because you are weak, but because you are wise. You see, there is power in knowing when to fight and when to lay down your sword. And, oh, what a mighty thing it is to lay your burdens before God and say, this is too much for me. I trust you to carry it. You've been holding on so tightly, love, clutching control like it's your last breath. Trying to arrange, fix, pull the strings of heaven with your bare hands. But baby, don't you know that freedom does not live in the hands that clench, it lives in the hands that open. You have confused carrying it all with being strong. But even the tallest tree must bend to the wind. Even the ocean, mighty and wild, must obey the moon. So why do you believe that you must never bow, never break, never bend? Why do you believe that your strength is measured by how much you endure alone? There is no shame in surrender. There is no failure in saying, God, I need you. In fact, there is honor in it. There is holy fire in the soul that chooses to kneel. It takes courage to admit that you are not in control. It takes boldness to trust a plan you cannot see and a path you do not understand. And let me tell you, God never mocked a surrendered soul. He meets you in that low place where pride has melted and fear has fled. He meets you in the broken moment where your voice cracks and your eyes fill, and your spirit says, I give this to you. That right there is where the miracle begins. Surrender is not giving up, it is giving over. It is saying, this is not mine to carry, and I will no longer pretend that it is. You were not born to be the fixer of everything, the glue that holds every piece in place. That is too great a weight for one soul. Even Jesus wept. Even he prayed, not my will but yours be done. And if the Son of God could lay his will down, how much more can we? Freedom, real and true, comes when you no longer have to perform for peace. When you no longer try to earn what God gives freely. When you stop wrestling and start resting. resting in his goodness, resting in his faithfulness, resting in the deep, unshakable truth that he is for you, yes, for you. You see, the world will tell you to grind, to hustle, to stay up all night making things happen. But God says, be still and know that I am God. Not do more, not figure it out, just be still. Stillness is sacred. Stillness is not the absence of motion, it is the presence of trust. You may think surrender means silence or passivity, but no, child. Surrender is not passive, it is powerful. It is the strength to let go of what is hurting you. It is the wisdom to release what was never yours. It is the trust to say, even now, even here, even this I will place in God's hands. And don't you worry about what people will say. People who've never carried your burden will always have opinions about how you carry it. Let them talk. Let them watch. You just keep letting go. You keep surrendering every morning if you must. Every hour, every breath. Because surrender is not a one-time act, it is a daily rhythm, a holy practice. A song you sing with your life. Sometimes it sounds like I forgive them. Sometimes it sounds like I can't do this alone. Sometimes it sounds like God help me. And sometimes it sounds like nothing at all, just tears that only heaven understands. But God hears every word, even the ones you don't speak. He sees every moment you fall to your knees and offer him your fragile, fractured pieces. And he doesn't discard them. He gathers them tenderly, gently, lovingly. He gathers your pieces and builds something stronger than what was before. Something that could only come from letting go. So let go, child. Let go of the guilt. Let go of the shame. Let go of the need to have all the answers. Let go of the idea that control equals safety. That is not your calling. Your calling is trust. Your calling is faith. Your calling is to walk with empty hands so that God might fill them with more than you ever imagined. There is freedom on the other side of surrender. There is peace that no storm can shake. There is a calm that holds you when the world spins wild. That is what happens when you say, God, I give this to you. Not just once, but again and again, until your spirit remembers the sound of trust. And oh, what a beautiful sound it is. Life, my dear, is not just the sunshine. It is also the storm. Not just the laughter, but the tears too. And if you live long enough, and I pray you do, you'll learn that God is not only present on the mountaintop. He is right there down in the valley when the night grows long and your faith grows tired. He is not a fair weather friend. He does not disappear when things get hard. No, he is the kind of God who walks with you through every season, not just the ones you'd write home about. I know what it means to shout hallelujah when your hands are full and your heart is light. I know what it means to dance when the doors swing open and everything lines up just right. But I also know the beauty of a whisper in the dark. I know the sacred strength of a soul that says, even here, even now, I will trust him. That is the kind of faith that makes the angels lean in close. Too often we believe God is only with us when things are easy, when the blessings are visible and the path is clear. But oh, child, don't be fooled. Don't let the silence of a hard season make you forget the sound of his promise. For the God of the mountain is also the God of the valley. The same God who stood beside you in your joy is the one who holds you now in your grief. When the storm comes, and it will come, don't you think for one second that you've been abandoned. No, love, you've been accompanied, you've been held. The very breath in your lungs during your darkest hour is proof that he is near. You may not see him, but you are walking in his shadow. You may not hear him, but you are wrapped in his presence. God does not flinch at your tears. He does not flee from your fears. He walks into the fire with you just as he did with Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. He joins you in the lion's den like he did with Daniel, and he sits with you in the Garden of Agony like he did with Jesus. He is not just the God of miracles, he is the God of midnights. Oh yes, midnight, the place between yesterday's sorrow and tomorrow's hope. That quiet, haunting hour where time seems to stand still and the soul cries out for answers. I've known that place. And if you're there now, I say to you, don't be afraid. Midnight is not the end, it is the beginning of morning. And your God, he works wonders in the dark. Some of his greatest work is done away from the crowds, in the silence, when the soil of your soul is being tilled for something beautiful. You may think nothing is happening. You may believe your prayers have been lost in the wind. But trust me, love, seeds don't sprout the moment you plant them. They rest. They crack open in silence. They push against the dirt and strain toward the light. Just because you don't see movement doesn't mean God is not moving. And how do I know he's moving? Because you are still here. You are still breathing. Your heart is still beating a rhythm that says there's more ahead. And that rhythm, child, that rhythm is divine. It's holy. It's a sign that God is not finished with you yet. I've learned that faith is not proven in the light. It's proven in the dark, when the job falls through, when the love walks away, when the doctor says there's nothing more they can do. That's when faith steps forward, trembling but true. That's when your soul learns to say, even if he doesn't fix this the way I want, I will still trust that he knows better than I do. God leads us through seasons we do not understand to build strength we did not know we had. He allows pain to carve out places in our heart where compassion can live. He permits loss so that grace might find a place to grow. These seasons don't come to break us, they come to shape us. You are being shaped, my dear, formed like clay in the potter's hands. And while the shaping may hurt, while the spinning wheel of life may dizzy you, do not forget whose hands hold you. His touch is steady, his design is divine. He sees what you will become even when all you see are the pieces. So walk through your season with your head held high, even if your knees shake. Lift your face to the heavens, even if tears blur your vision. And whisper if you can't shout, God is still leading me. He is leading you through this storm, through this silence, through this valley. And when you reach the other side, and you will look back and see not one step where you were alone. For every footprint in your journey, there was another beside it. Or perhaps it was not beside you at all. Perhaps it was beneath you, carrying you when you could no longer carry yourself. Yes, God leads in every season, not just the good ones. And because of that, you beloved will never be lost. You know, baby, there's a peace that don't make no sense to the world. A calm that don't come from money in the bank or people patting you on the back. It's not the kind of peace that waits for everything to be perfect before it settles in. No, this kind of peace, God's peace, shows up right in the middle of the mess. It sits down in the rubble, crosses its legs, and says, we gon' be all right. Now, I know what the world will tell you. It'll say you have to earn your rest. It'll whisper that peace is something you find at the end of the road, after the battle is over and the bills are paid and the children are grown. But that's a lie, sugar. That's a lie dressed up in logic. The truth, the real, holy, blood-bought truth is that God gives peace now. Right now, not after the storm, but in it, not after the fire, but through it.